So by the end of this lesson, you should be able to multiply a given set. You have to multiply a given set. So under multiplication of sets, it's like a normal expansion of brackets or normal expansion of algebraic brackets. So in this case, if A root B is multiplied C root D like this one, it is, or you have to use the terms in front of the radicals. Obviously, let me say the coefficients to multiply themselves. So the real parts, this is the real part, and this is the set, or this is the constant, and this is the set. So constant by the constant, you have A times what? C. After that, you have root of B times D. You get B times D. So finally, we are going to get AC times or root of what? BD. So for instance, when you have to simplify 2 root 3 times 4 root 5 like this one, then we have to use the terms outside the square root. And the terms outside the square root is what? 2 and 4. So we have 2 times 4 like this one. Then those under the radicals, multiply them 3 times 5. So then meaning we are going to get 2, 4, 8, 3, 5, 15. So this is how it goes. So now let's use this concept to solve these problems. The problem number 1 is we have to expand 3 root of 5 times 2 root 5 minus 2. So now let's move on. Meaning we are going to use the term outside the bracket to multiply each of the terms inside. So when I pick 3 root 5, it's like 3 root of 5 times 2 root of 5. And the same thing plus 3 root of 5 times negative what? 2. It's like this one. So 3, 2 is what? 6. Root 5 by root 5 is what? Root of 25. Or here, since the numbers under the radicals are the same, root 5 times root 5 is 5. Because root 5 times root 5 is equal to root of 5 or square. If it is x, so x times x is what? X square. So since they are the same form, root 5 times root 5 is 5 all square. So the square would take rid of the 5. So meaning root 5 times root 5 is what? 5. You can just write it straightforward. Plus the constant by constant, you have negative 6 root of what? 5. Finally, we are going to get root of 25 is 5. That's 6 times 5 minus 6 root 5. So 6, 5 is what? 30 minus 6 root what? 5. This one, you cannot use the 6 to multiply the 5 because this 5 is under a radical sign. And this is the answer you are going to get. So the problem number 2. Problem number 2, suppose we are to expand 2 minus 2 root 2 all squared like this one. 2 minus 2 root 2 all squared like this one. Sorry, 2 minus root 2 all squared. Meaning that the power here is 2. This bracket is multiplying itself how many times? 2 times. Like this. Like this. So we have to take our time and expand this bracket. Taking the term here to expand each of the terms here. You have 2 times 2 minus root 2. After that, take the minus root 2 times 2 minus 2 root 2 So we have 2, 2. 2 by 2 is 4. 2 by minus root 2 is minus 2 root 2. Minus root 2 times 2 is minus 2 root 2. Negative by negative is what? Positive. Root 2 by root 2 is what? 2. Because when you say root of 4 is still what? 2. So on this note, let's check. We have 4 as constant, 2 as constant. So 4 plus 2 is what? 6. Minus 2 root 2 minus 2 root 2 is what? Minus 4 root 2. And this is our final answer. This is our final answer. So this is how to solve this problem. Now, let's move to look at the problem number 3. Problem number 3 is we have to expand 2 root 2 plus root 3 times root 3 plus 2 root 2. So we have to expand this. So I'm going to pick the first term here to multiply all the terms in the second bracket. We have 2 root 2 bracket root 3 plus 2 root 2. Then take the second to multiply the same bracket plus root 3 bracket root 3 2 root of what? 2. Now let's take our time and expand. The term here, or the number here, is what? 1. So 2 by 1 is what? 2. Root 2 times root 3 is root of what? 6. 2 by 2 is what? 4. Root 2 by root 2, the same set, is what? 2. On this note, let's move on. So root 3 times root 3. So take your time. Root of 3 times root of 3. Since they are like cells, you are going to get root of 3 all squared, and the square will get rid of the square root. So root 3 times root 3 is what? 3 plus root 3 times 2 root 2. The term here is what? 1. 1 times 2 is what? 2. Root 3 by root 2 is what? Root of what? 6. So on this note, let's simplify. You have 2 root 6 plus 2 root 6 plus 2 root 6 plus 4, 2, 8 plus 3. So finally, we are going to get 4 root of 6 plus 11, or 11 plus 4 root of what? 6. Addition is commutative. So on this note, this is how to expand or how to solve this question. This is how to solve this question. Now let's look at the problem number 4. Problem number 4. Suppose we are to simplify. Suppose we are to simplify root of 3 minus root 2 bracket 2 root 2 plus root 3. So on this note, we are taking the first term here to expand the bracket. That root 3 bracket 2 root 3 plus root 3. Sorry, it's 2 root 2. 2 root 2. So the second term minus root 2 bracket 2 root 2 plus root of what? 3. So on this note, root 3 times 2 root 2 is 2 root of what? 6. Root 3 times root 3 is what? 3. Minus root 2 times 2 root 2, they have the same form. We have, here is 1, so 1 times 2 is what? 2. Root 2 by root 2 is what? 2. Minus root 2 by root 3 is minus root of what? 6. So on this note, we are going to get 2 root of 6 minus root 6 plus 3 minus 4. So which is equal to 2 root of 6 minus root of 6. That's 2 minus 1. That's 1. So we have root of what? 6. There's one here, but there's no need to write that one. You have root 6, and 3 minus 4 is negative what? 1. And on this note, this is how to solve this given problem. This is how to solve this problem. So now, let's move on to solve the last problem. Let's move on to solve the last problem. So the last problem is we are to expand and simplify root of 50,000 minus of 22 root of 125 plus 3 root of 5 bracket 2 root 5 minus 2. So we have to simplify this. So now let's take our time. This is not in its basic form. We have to reduce it to basic form. This one is not in basic form. We have to reduce to basic form. And this one is expansion of this bracket. So now let's move on. The factors of 50,000. We have root of what? 10,000. 10,000 times root of what? 5. That's 50,000 minus 22 bracket root of 25 times what? 5. So the perfect factor of 125 is 25 plus 3 root of 5, 2 root 5 minus 2. So this is how to go by it. So now let's move on. Root of 10,000 is what? 100 root 5 minus 22 bracket root of 25 is what? 5 root 5 plus 3 to 6 root 5 by root 5 is what? 5 minus 3 times 2 is minus 6 root what? 5. Now let's simplify. We have our 100 root of 5. So 22 times 5 is minus of 110 root 5 plus 6 5 30 minus 6 root what? 5. Now let's check root 5, root 5, root 5. They are like cells. So now let's take our times. So we have our 30 plus the 100 minus 110 minus 6 all root of what? 5. You're going to get 30, 100 minus 10. 100 minus 110 is negative 10. Minus 10 minus 6 is negative of what? 16 root of 5. And on this note, this is how to solve this problem. You cannot add or subtract because there's no said here. This constant number. And this serves as coefficient. So you cannot subtract the 16 from 30. So the correct answer is 30 minus 16 root of 5. And this is how to solve this question. This is how to solve this question. Don't check how the number is. Don't check how the number is. It's a matter of getting the concept that you find a perfect factor of the number and what number will multiply that perfect factor for you to get the 50,000. Use that idea and break it down, reduce it, and simplify it to its basic form. So thank you very much for watching this video. Subscribe to the channel, hit on the notification bell for more videos. Thank you very much.